Hello YouTube, and tonight we're going to have a look at the second challenge. So back here we had these things to do with JavaScript challenges, and this one is hover over a group of colors. The background color changes as you hover over. Alright, so to do that I'm going to have a look at a similar style as we did the first time. Let's have a look what I've got here. So it's just a simple HTML structure, HTML head. In the head we've got the style section and a script section, and then we've got the title. I don't know why I've done the title twice there. I'll just delete that one. And so hover over a group of colors, the background color changes as you hover over. And then the end of the head, body section, I've just kept it the same background color as the previous video. And then we've got the header here, heading, hover over a color to change the background color. And what I'm going to do tonight is use Css Grids. Now this is the first time I believe I've used grids before. It's just, to me, it's a little bit similar to using HTML tables with the rows, rows and columns. However, they are more flexible. So just the way you arrange them around the page. Okay, so I'm going to use grids, and let's have a look first of all what this page looks like. So just a simple page, nothing on there except the background color and one heading here and one what is that format? Paragraph. So one heading H1 and one paragraph. Okay, so to put the grid there first, let's have a look. I've copied it before and I'll just put this out. So I made this grid here. I've just made it a bit slanty just so I can count the lines a bit more easier. 3 groups of 3, so I'm going to have 9 colors in total in this grid. Okay, so in a grid you need to have a container. So the outside div here is the container. I've made this class called a grid container. You can style that, and then within the grid I've made 9 different divs for 9 different colors. And this one here, oh yeah, that's fine. I'm just seeing whether that was a spare one, but it does pair up there. Okay, so what I've done is just I've put a background color on each of these grid items. So this one's, I've just done red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, colors of a rainbow. Then I've just chosen 2 random ones, aqua and fuchsia. Okay, so after I've given the divs a background color, we're assigning the div a class, and this is the grid item. Okay, and the grid items will be related to this grid container. We'll do the styling in a moment. And then we're calling a JavaScript function on mouse over. So instead of on click like we did in the last video, we're using the event handler on mouse over. It's basically a hover. So when you hover over the grid item, this function will be called. And I'm actually passing a variable. Okay, so each grid square, each item in the grid has a color. So I'm just passing the color of that grid item to the function. Okay, and that's all it is. Now we'll just define those. I'll just do the styling first. So save time, I've done them previously. Two different classes. One is the grid container, one is the grid item. Okay, so for the grid container, this one's essential. You need to have a display grid. Alright, and that'll put it in this grid format. You can read more about these on the W3 Schools CSS Grid. Okay, and that gives you shows some information there about grids. So they've got a display grid, and they've also got you could have it as an inline grid. So they've got grids have columns, this goes vertically, have rows which are horizontal, and the gaps are the ones in the middle there. Okay. Alright, so this this site's great for learning the various elements and of CSS, JavaScript, quite a few languages there. Recommended that site for sure. And so I've got this grid container, and I've just defined the gap. That's we'll have a look at that. As we saw before, it's the space between the items of the grid. Okay, grid template columns. So this part here is defining how the grid will display. So auto, auto, auto. In this case, we'll have 3 columns. If I did auto, 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 be 4 columns, but then you'd have to have, well, I can test it in a minute. I don't think it'll work with 9. You have to have divisible by 12, I believe. I mean 4. Padding, yep, that's just the between the container and anything outside the container. There's space there. I mean between, actually it's, no, the margins between the container and anything outside, and the padding is between the outside of the container and the inside items. So there's a bit of a gap there. And then now we've got the background color I've just assigned to this gray color, CCC, and the grid items. So each item has a border, which is black border, and padding between each item, and 30 pixels font, and align center. So let's have a look how that looks. Save that. Go back to our page. There we go. Alright, so this is the gray background color of the container, the light gray one. And then we've got the individual colors of the grid items. Okay, and let's just do, as we said before, let's just change this to 4 columns. Let's see how that will look. It's always a good experiment to learn. Alright, it does work, but yeah, so it's just putting it into 4, and yeah, it'd be best if you have a number divisible by 4 if you want to do in rows of 4. So this is 9, so basically just 3 and 9. You'd have a, let me see what 9 looks like. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This would just be all in one row. Whoa, yep, that's pretty cool. Alright, so I'll go back to 3. So yeah, it's quite flexible, the grid format. Doesn't take very long to get used to. Yeah, but if you're used to, columns and rows of doing tables, it's a slight different way of thinking about it, but you'll get the hang of it. Alright, so this is not actually doing anything yet when you hover over it. So we need to add the JavaScript to change the background on hover. I'll just save that again. Three columns. And now to put the JavaScript in, it's a very simple line. I'll try and do it without looking back to the previous code there. So it's just as we've done here, so I've called it change C. So go into the script area, function, change C, and we're passing the variable, so we'll put the variable x. Okay. Don't need to define the x because it's just being passed on. You could say, it's a string or something, but it's not required. So what we're doing is we're changing the background color. So using the DOM, document dot body dot style style dot background color is assigned to x in quotes. All right, let's see if that works. Pretty simple scripting. So just the one line there in that function. And it's not working. So, oh yes, I think I know what it is. So here, document dot body dot style dot background color assigned to x. It's annoying when I'm thinking, look at it. I'm trying to stop myself from looking at that line I did before. Okay, so what's wrong with that script? What I'll do is I'll put an alert in there, first of all, just to see that it's getting to that section. If it's not getting there, there might be a problem with somewhere else on the page. Yeah, it's not even getting to the function. Okay, so the function call's wrong. Okay, so it's not getting there. That means there's something wrong with down here. Change C, on mouse over, assigned to change C. Okay, so there must be something wrong with the page. Style. Make sure there's all the brackets are matching. Script, function, alert, title, head, body. Okay. They're all matching. So it's something simple. Who can spot it first? I think it's something like function change C. I don't think it needs those, right? Yeah, it doesn't need those. Let's try that. Hey, it works. Okay, cool. At least it gets there. So it's getting to that section now. That's good. So the problem was I was putting in quotation marks. And it doesn't need it, does it? Because it's a variable. It's not a string. It's a variable. In this case, it's yeah. Because it's already a variable, we don't need to put it in the little single quotes. And ta-da! Now it's working. green, blue, indigo, violet, aqua, fuchsia. Cool. And that's hover over a color to change the background color. That's how it's done. Thanks for watching.